Scarefest Radio is sponsored by Blue Leaf Naturals, CBD and hemp oil products. Created with care from seed to shelf. BlueLeafNaturals.com. Spirit Mechanics, for your spiritual health and well-being. Find them on Facebook. MECHANIX. And by Coyote Chris Sutton, bringing light to the darkest places. CoyoteChris.com.
Viewpoints and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
You should know me well enough by now. My stories never have happy endings. The devil is real.
I'm so sorry. I have something for you.
Go.
What else did you see on those tapes?
They're onto you, boy. Be careful, okay?
Let's continue, shall we?
You want to see crazy? Cause you ain't seen nothing yet! Are we having fun yet, Michael?
Well, that was fun. Story time's over.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Radio. I'm your host, Wes Forsythe, and tonight we have Mr. Yan Birch on the line with us on camera to talk about his recent projects, one of which you saw that was released a year or two ago. Terror Tales, that was a trailer from that. And Yan, before we even get started, I'm just going to tell you, you were great in that little trilogy movie there.
Oh, thank you so much.
I am. Now,
I enjoyed it very much too. I mean, it was a great film to shoot, actually, and I love anthology movies. So.
It looked like a lot of fun. We'll talk about it a little bit later, because that's what we're constant. People under the stairs were. Jason might ask about it. I'm not even interested in it. That's old news. He's been so busy the last 5 years, 6 years, whatever. I'm telling you that there's just a lot of stuff going on. Everybody, now to get the business out of the way, of course. Now, okay. Pull up Jason's camera. Everybody, Jason Boyd is, in fact, alive and semi-well, something like that. But we have video proof that he did not actually die and that it's not somebody else on his Facebook account.
Yeah, and contrary to popular belief, anyway. I don't feel bad for a dead guy, I don't think.
Not too much business to take care of. We are, of course, still telling everyone... if you want to speak, if you want to present at the Scarefest, speakers at thescarefest.com, give them a notice, let them know you're wanting an application. March 31st is the deadline on that. If you have a speech about something weird or unusual, we are looking for you. Beyond that, the only other thing I'm going to throw out there, everybody, is that we're going to give away a 3-day pass tonight. We are going to do it on Facebook, on the main Scarefest page, and to signify where it would be done, I posted a banner for tonight's show with the words, "Tonight we will be giving away a 3-day pass," right here on this post. Watch for your instructions to win. There. Now you will know exactly where to post. Whatever I decide later in the show, you need to post to win. Everybody, let's welcome Yan to the show officially now. You've been a busy boy, Yan.
Yeah, I mean, I've been extremely thankful. I'm extremely thankful. I've been so fortunate in the last 3 years. And yeah, I mean, one after the other, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, being able to do my craft that I love to do. And, you know, I'm working with a lot of, this is interesting, actually. And it's interesting note, I'm working with a lot of directors now that were kids when People on the Stairs came out. So now, you know, they're directing their own films, and you know, I just came into this, you know, the mid-30 guys that like totally wants to work with me in all their films now. So I'm beyond grateful.
Now speaking though of your age, everybody, now if you have not done so, go on Facebook, search for Yan Birch's fan page, because I wish I'd went ahead and done a capture of it, because he has a picture of himself when he was young and studly. Right when you go to the page, he has this beautiful Greek god that he. I'm not saying you're not an attractive man now.
Oh, but, come on, wait a minute, what's happening here?
But he obviously, if he's not still, he was a babe magnet. I could tell. Now, before we go any further, though, talking about projects. Last time you were on, you teased Sky Sharks to us. When is Sky Sharks going to hit video or movies or whatever? I am dying to see this movie.
I actually talked to them yesterday because I knew I was going to be on tonight, and I knew that question was going to be on. I was on the Dorkening Tuesday, and the question kept coming up like 10 times. So I thought I might as well do some research. So I contacted a producer, and right now they're aiming for a September release. It's looking like it's going to be the Toronto Film Festival, possibly, and then Sony in Berlin, Munich. You know, Sony picked up all over Europe so far, so I know it's going to be quite a huge release in Northern Europe. I don't know about here yet, because I'm sure if they do good in Europe, which Sony is not going to let it go over here. So it's looking really, really good for America.
Well, I just want to say, everybody, okay. Go on YouTube, search for Sky Sharks trailer. They've got the teaser trailer out. But if you don't want to do that, this is all you need to know. Right here, watch this. We have zombie Nazis riding jet-powered flying sharks. And I just want to say that it gave me I'm going to be very vulgar now. It gave me what I would call a horror erection. I saw that teaser clip, and I said, "This is freaking awesome." You have to
explain that one later.
Now I realize sometimes on these teasers for horror movies, I'll say it, they put the best special effects, but everything that was in the teaser trailer is just flawless as far as special effects, and it really looks like a great project. And I'm just, like I said, I don't look forward to horror movies that often. I'm looking forward to this one because I just think conceptually, it looks great.
I mean, on that note, Wes, the reason it's taken so long is because they're spending enormous time on the post. I mean, they're meticulous when it comes to the CGI effects, which they have a lot of in this movie, obviously. Everything we shot in Germany, every one of us, Tony Todd, myself, and Naomi Grossman, Lynn Lowry, Robert Lasardo. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Dave Sheridan. I mean, we all shot on green screen, and we never worked. Nobody works together. Everybody shoots by themselves. It's like a complete new concept of making a movie. They have one actor at a time on a green screen. It's quite amazing, actually.
Everybody, we're going to take our first commercial break. We are running a little bit late, so we'll probably run it right up top of the hour. But first commercial break, everybody. We'll be right back with more Scarefest Radio. Everyone is talking about CBD oil. Most of us know that CBD is a cannabis compound that has significant medical benefits, but does not make people high. Its benefits include pain relief, anti-seizure properties, anxiety relief, fights cancer, reduces the risk of diabetes, and it is even used as a sleep aid. Blue Leaf Naturals CBD and hemp products are full-spectrum hemp extract oils. They use only hemp grown in Kentucky, supporting Kentucky farmers and businesses and helping you and your family stay healthy and well. Blue Leaf Naturals, created with care from seed to shelf. Visit their website at blueleafnaturals.com. Blue Leaf Naturals, a Kentucky proud company. And welcome back to Scarefest Radio. I'm going to toss it over now to my co-host, Mr. Jason Boyd.
So first and foremost, and a lot of people have been asking me the same question. Of course, like I said, The People on the Stairs was an awesome movie. I loved it. But what was it like working with Wes Craven? I mean, is he, the nice guy that everybody, had said he was, or was he a great guy to work with, or?
Wes, I don't have enough things to say about Wes. I can take up the whole hour talking about Wes and what a wonderful man he is. He was like, when you get to know Wes, he's like nothing you see on screen. That's what's so interesting with him. He's the opposite. He's full of love. It's a complete family on set, and he takes you on like a brother or a father, or, I mean, the way he treated the kids on set, the Brandon Adams and AJ Langer, when they were shooting, because they were, obviously younger. It was amazing to see, and him and I got quite close, and not to talk about his amazing directing. I mean, he's a complete actor's director. He knows what he wants. But the key thing with him, I think the most best characteristic for him as a director is how calm he is. He's just calm. He's just zen. And that energy just reflects to everyone. So nobody, all of a sudden, there's no stress level on his set.
Well, that was one of the things I want to touch on, because, like I said, I'm a huge. Actually, as a matter of fact, I had it on Shudder the other day, so I got to watch it all again in its entirety. So I was thrilled with that. But of course, straying away from that, I had some of your fans were asking questions and everything, and and a lot of people said that you have a pretty well-rounded career, especially, I mean, looking at your IMDb page, you have a fantastic resume there, and I mean, how do you feel as far as like you've done other avenues besides horror and stuff? I mean, do you have like a favorite preference on that, or do you like doing horror primarily, or?
No, I mean, I'm an actor, and my passion is the craft of acting, and I love to do other parts. I like to do whatever is interesting and gives me something out of the story. I just my first American feature was Slumber Party Massacre 3. It just kind of happened with Roger Corman, and my second feature was People on the Stairs with Wes Craven. And then I did Blessed Child with Chuck Russell and Runestone, and Death House. Is just, I don't mind horror at all, but I'm an actor first, and I take whatever whatever more creative product that comes my way that's interesting. I love to do.
Well, like I said now, so what is your favorite character? Like, of all the characters you've played, horror, non-horror, I've seen you did a Western as well. What's your favorite? I mean, which one did you really get into?
My favorite character still has to be, because it gave me so much, the Stairmaster from People on the Stairs. One of the big challenges was that I didn't have a tongue, so I couldn't really speak. So I had to do it all with my, with my expressions and my eyes, and I had black contact lenses. It wasn't like you could really express. It was more like the eyebrow action and facial expressions. But that would still go down as my favorite character, I think.
Yeah, because I remember I had actually had a poster on my wall as a kid of your character on, like hanging right above my bed. So not exactly something I'd want to walk into late at night because, because a lot of times I'd forget it was there. So it was, scary as hell. But, but yeah, I actually did have a poster of that. Actually, I think it came out of a Fangoria magazine, as a matter of fact. But I've also seen on here that you actually work on the other side of the camera. You actually done some production work and things. Do you like, working on as an actor, or do you like doing the more production side, or is it kind of a mixture of both? Or
I like the entertainment industry as a whole, and I have my own production company, Pure Entertainment. We do produce some things, but my passion is and has always been acting. I mean, like I said, again on that note, I'm an actor first, but producing is interesting. Producing is something that came quite easily to me. So I don't mind, and then you can create productions for your friends and yourself, and try to stay on both sides of the camera is probably what I keep doing. But my passion is acting.
So what about as far as and from production standpoint and stuff? Have you got any favorite projects you've liked to work on, or are you seeing more production coming in the future that you'd like to work on, or?
Yeah, I features is my foremost. I also have developed a TV show here for a few years. I put it a little bit on the back burner for the last 2-3 years because I got really busy acting in other people's films. But it's something I'm really passionate about, and it's really based on. I mean, the backstory is based on me. And then I just took it, made it, created it from there, and made it, fictionalized, based on slight truth, and I love to get going with that one, in the future for sure.
And I've also noticed though, and I was really excited reading on your background stuff, and you are incredibly intelligent. You have some degrees, is that correct?
I don't know about incredibly intelligent, but I do have some degrees. Yes, that's correct.
So what do you have?
I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and I did some further studies in maths, and basically got an equivalent to the master's in mathematics.
Yeah, see, you got me beat on that because I'm lucky to add 2 + 2. I still count with my fingers, so.
No, that's another reason. Producing, I've done a lot of line producing, creating budgets and stuff. Numbers comes easily to me. It's just something that I never really had to work on. It just before we had all these electronic devices, I had 2,500 phone numbers in my head, and I couldn't remember their names, but I knew their phone numbers. It was a weird thing.
I can imagine. So, like I said, numbers is just not something I was never very good at. And for some reason, I'm an IT guy by trade, so I can figure out numbers in terms of binary and IP addresses. But yeah, when it comes to my budget and everything, I have to have somebody else handle my finances and things. So, so as far as now, I see you got a lot of post-production things coming out and stuff. You have Killer Rose and Dead Man's Mound, Matchstick Flame. What are you most excited about that's coming out here soon?
It's coming out. That's already shot. The most excited is it would be Sky Sharks, and we already discussed, and Agamemnon's Gate. I'm looking very forward to a Hollywood Inn film that's coming out on. Got a theatrical release for September with midnight releasing. It's myself and Lauren Landon starring in it. And that's a lot of fun. That trailer is out on. They have a nice trailer out online as well.
As far as you want to give us a little bit of insight on it, or are you allowed to kind of give us a little?
I can elaborate a little bit. Yeah, it's like I play this. This Agamemnon's Gate is like Agamemnon is the devil's left. Not a right hand man, possibly the left hand man. Like the top 3 with the devil in the old scriptures. And a bunch of a group of people have a seance and opens a gate, and I come through as one of those kids' dead father that he killed to save his mom. I can say that much, and I wreak some havoc.
So is it set more of modern time, or is it set kind of, because I know a lot of the newer films are starting to kind of go backwards in time as far as is it set in modern times, or is it set back like back in the 70s or anything, or is it, you know?
No, it's right now.
Today, and I was watching it, and they had said it back in the 80s, and I thought, well, that was kind of neat, you know, concept, how they were kind of reverting it back to, you know, back to old school movies.
Yeah, no, this is set like in present time. I mean, it's not really time related. It doesn't really matter what time it is, but when you look for the wardrobe and the scenery and stuff, it's present time.
Okay, yeah, because we, you know, like I said, I noticed that's something that seems to be in a lot of the indie films and things now. Is kind of they're, I guess, trying to get back away from cell phones and computers and things. They're trying to revert back to more, I guess, you know, simpler, you know, times. So I know it's a lot of films doing that lately.
For sure. No, and then I also have Killer Roses coming out sometime with Felissa Rose and Caroline Williams and Dave Sheridan and some other, and Vincent Ward as well. We had fun doing that, playing a hitman in that. And then Waking Nightmare I did with Diane Franklin. I don't know exactly when that's coming out, but that was a blast. I had so much fun in that. I'd just like to see what came out of it, you know. And what else? I have this other thriller with Harley Williams. I've done 3 films with him now. Wonderful director called Abeyance with Billy Worth and Scout Taylor Compton and Richard Tyson, Mel Novak, myself. We had a blast on that one. That's a really good in concept about how you can actually live forever if you have enough money and transfer your brain into a younger body, more or less.
Oh, that's I seem like I remember there was an older movie that was like that, and I really loved it. So that was something to be right up my alley, especially. I like the whole, you know, trying to stay, you know, the remain young forever kind of type movies. But now, what was, as far as like in horror movies, what was the first one that you ever saw, and, you know, how did it, you know, what kind of effect did it have on you?
I think the first one I ever saw was probably Rosemary's Baby, or no, actually, the Birds with Alfred Hitchcock, long way back when.
So did it scare the bejesus out of you, or?
Yeah, no, that was pretty scary. You know, and I, you know, in Sweden as well, you can go out and you get pretty close to forest, at least where I was living in the suburbs of a smaller town. And you know, it took a while before you, like, every time a bird came out of the trees, you got a little bit shocked. But no, that was fun. And then I think Rosemary's Baby or The Exorcist, one of those, and that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that was one of the classics there, and I actually think I discussed that on my page because my mom actually forbid me to watch it because she was raised Baptist, you know, Christian, so she was like, "Don't watch that movie." So, you know, and being the good son that I am, I haven't seen it yet, so I've watched bits and pieces of it, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I was kind of I figured that's probably right on everybody's top list there, being part of the most, you know, horrifying, you know, movies. Would you say so, Wes?
Oh, absolutely. And we are at the half-hour mark. We're going to go ahead and do our second commercial break, everyone. You're watching Scarefest Radio. Do you feel lost in life? Do you seem to be stuck in emotions that are not yours? Is your home not the sanctuary it should be? Contact Spirit Mechanics, where they take a team approach to your metaphysical and spiritual problems. Spirit Mechanics specializes in aura cleansing, stone attunement, attachment removal, and house cleansings. Spirit Mechanics tailors their approach to your individual spiritual path and needs. Find them every month at Lexington, Kentucky's Mystical Fair, mysticalfairlex.com, or on Facebook by searching Spirit Mechanics, that's MECHANIX. Spirit Mechanics, for your spiritual health and well-being. And welcome back to Scarefest Radio. A little reminder while we're on the topic. Spirit Mechanics will be on Body and Spirit tonight, immediately following Scarefest Radio. Stay tuned for that. Now we're going to go ahead and do our contest before we get back to Jan. On the Facebook page, the Scarefest Facebook page, under the banner that says tonight we will be giving away a 3-day pass. I want someone, now if you mess up the verbiage a little bit, my wife wanted me to use the vulgar term that I came up with, but no, I'm going with zombie Nazis on jet-powered sharks. Someone post zombie Nazis on jet-powered sharks underneath of that banner. First person I see do that will win a 3-day pass to Scarefest 2019. Scarefest XII, Scarefest 12. Now, Jan, you've been, part of your busyness over the last few years has been your TV work. Now, I saw you on Brooklyn 99. I actually picked you out of the Swedes. I saw, that is Jan. And sure enough, I waited till the end and said, yep, that was him. But now, your Hawaii Five-0 credit you have on there. They credit you with the Stairmaster clip. And I couldn't find it in the show. Do you know if that actually made the final cut?
I do not believe it did, actually. They had me on there and to do some live work, as well as they were going to show a piece from people on the stairs in the show, because they were watching a horror movie, and that's some horror movie they picked. But I don't think they showed the TV at all in the cut. You know, they never did that angle, unfortunately. It was a great idea, but I don't think it panned out in the final version.
Now to stroke my own cat, as they say, when I saw that they called it the Stairmaster clip, I was almost wondering if the directors didn't find out about the horrible, horrible joke I made the first time I ever announced to you that we were coming to Scarefest. Where I think I actually went ahead and called him the Thigh Master, everyone, because I'd never seen the movie at the time, so I had no frame of reference. But he did teach me an important lesson that night. Famous people watch this show, because he said, "What did he mean by that joke?" And I said, "Oh, goody! The famous person heard me make a joke about him." But so I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, that was fun. Yeah.
On which is I know that it's I don't know, is the process that different when you're talking about doing a TV show that, you know, where they, you know, they get everything done is my understanding, versus when you're doing a movie. Is there a big difference to you as far as the process, or is it all just acting to you?
It's less time to prepare on TV, usually. You know, especially if you're going as a guest starring, or you're going for a week or a few days. You don't really get the script ahead of time. On movies, it's a little different, you know, depending on them, the bigger the part, the more preparation time they usually give you. But yeah, it's a little different. But, you know, nowadays a lot of directors shoot TV shows like movies. So it all depends on what show you're on. Now with Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, there's like 175 shows everywhere. So there's a lot of directors that get a chance to do a little bit more, you know, what they want to do, which is normally the case on films.
Now, you mentioned before about now you of course you cut your teeth, as they say, in the time of practical effects. But now with Sky Sharks, it's all maybe not all green screen, but I know a lot of that is a green screen shot. Did you say that was your first real experience with that?
No, I did not say that.
Okay, I didn't. I want to make sure I didn't get that wrong. What is it a lot harder when you're dealing with green screen as an actor, or is it just that? I don't want to use the word easy for you, but I'm trying to picture that in my mind. This, you know, not having the shark, you know, and things like that.
Well, it depends. And if it's a shark or a prop, you know, you just have to visualize. But then it depends on if it's another actor on the other side. It depends on the actor. Like when I did Blessed a Child, for example, with Kim Basinger, we did with half the day, we would jump, you know, we're getting out, I was saving her from a car at that scene, from a bridge, like high up. Obviously, we're in a studio on a green screen. And when we shot half the day on my angle on her angle, and I was there for her, and then they turned, and a lot of A-listers they have to stand in do it, but she stayed. She was a trooper. She stayed with me all day, and that is very appreciated because you get the same energy, the same feel, the same vibe with the dialogue. And that helps a lot. And sometimes you didn't even get a stand-in. It's nothing there. You just have to pretend. That obviously, it's a different way of acting for sure.
I can understand. Well, I mean, like with sharks, but so much of it is done now. Where you don't. I mean, you don't even really have a set. I see so much of it done that way, and of course, that's me having a lack of talent. I can't picture, there's a vase in that corner or whatever. But I will go ahead and announce everybody, Sherry Horkick. Hope I say your name right, Sherry. I'm not even sure. Sherry, you did win. You beat the other fellow by 2 minutes. So Sherry Horkick, you are the winner of the 3-day pass. I'll be getting in touch with you to get your email address. And welcome to Scarefest. Jason, over to you.
So now, as far as it seems like you tend to play a lot of villains in the movies and things, is that something that you enjoy doing, or is that just kind of like do they just kind of see and say, okay, you're perfect for this, the bad guy role here?
I enjoy it. I mean, like I said, I enjoy all acting, but I enjoy being a villain. I usually get the two spectrums so far. Like I said, I played in Basing as Guardian Angel in Blessed a Child, and I played Satan in Terror Tales, and it's like hasn't really been the guy next door playing on the football team hasn't been what I have. Not that I wouldn't love to do it, but to go back to the villains. The villains are fun. Villains are usually a lot of fun. There's a lot of things to build on, and for me, it's being something you're not, and that's always fun.
So now, as far as your character, you played Satan in Terror Tales there. Now, is that, I mean, like, how did you get into the I guess the mindset there? Is that something you just kind of started, building on, or did you kind of already have it all played out in your head how you were going to, play Satan, or?
No, I thought about it a lot because there's a lot of people in this over the years have played a devil or a Satan, and they've done it a lot of different ways. So I just wanted to do it on my own take. I thought about it a lot. I thought about what the words he was saying meant a lot and how deep he went. And I actually played it more of a progress because I'm going from Satan in human form to Satan in full transformation. And we kind of shot it in sequence. So I worked on the character, building him more and more into then in the end, his true self in full transformation. And I try to add a little bit, while, on the way, a little bit more here and there to really build up the character for the audience.
Because like I said, I got to see a few of the screenshots and everything. So it was pretty terrifying. Just from the looks alone. But now, have you ever thought about getting into directing and maybe doing your own film? I mean, if it's not horror, I mean, have you thought that far ahead, maybe do some directing? Or
I love to direct. I mean, my father was both an actor, producer, director, and I always thought about that one day I might direct. Love to. Right now, I don't have anything on the book, so nothing planned, but I'm all open for that.
Yeah, I would say that as far as like some of the questions that some of your fans had asked, I mean, they, I think a couple of them even said that if this guy could direct a movie, it would probably be scary as hell. So, so we were kind of like, I mean, what would your approach be for, like, say if you did create your own movie, what would you do as far as to terrorize your audience?
I think more of I'm more intrigued by the suspense scare than the full blown in your face gore scare. I mean, it's just me. I like the unexpected, and I would probably play on that.
So are you a big fan of like the older horror movies that like where they don't really show the monster or the killer or everything until like the very end of the movie, like you just kind of see glimpses of it? Is that is that kind of what your thoughts would be if you directed a movie?
Probably, yeah, a little bit towards that angle, yeah.
See, I personally love those because, I mean, they, back then, like you said, that was a suspense factor. You never saw, I mean, you knew something was killing people, you knew something was lurking about, but you didn't really get to see whatever it was until the very end. So, I think that, I can safely say that I hope that you get a chance to direct a film, because if you could make something like that, that would be fantastic, because that's the kind of movies I enjoy. So,
I love to. Well, let's do it. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to do it at one time. Don't know when, but I'm sure it's going to happen because I would like to do it.
So now, what about Death House? Did you, if you want to tell us a little bit about that, because I know a lot of people were that kind of blew up on Facebook. There, people were talking about it, and it looks like you have something coming up with the same cast again, The Dawn of Five Evils.
Yeah, I mean, the Death House was, the first in a series from Gunnar Hansen's story. And in the first one, the doctors don't really have too much to do or screen time. It's more about the prisoners. So they're doing a sequel right now. Not right now, but I mean, the next thing that's going to be done is a sequel. And then a third in a row, as far as I've been told, is a prequel. And that's Dawn of Five Evils that I'm attached to. And that's more about the doctors and how it all started.
Okay. So, I like I said, I've been hearing rumors that there was kind of like you said, a trilogy behind that. So I was kind of curious exactly, how they were going to play that all out. So, which, I mean, the prequel idea I think is great. So it kind of leads up and explains things beforehand. So, I'm one of these type of people that, like I said, when I see a movie, I want to know everything about it. Like if there's any kind of like fan fiction or, novelization or something. So, I like to learn as much about the characters and, like you said, the doctors and things. I like to expand more on that and, hear more about, their role in it and everything. So, but, as far as, are there some roles that you've auditioned for that you didn't get that, that you really was, that really bothered you about it, or?
Well, I had quite a lot of those. I don't know if any bothered me. Of course, you get disappointed. But one day, just when you said it, the first thing that came to mind, and I might as well mention that, was the villain in Passenger 57 with Wesley Snipes. I can't remember the name of the guy who played it. It was an English guy, blonde villain type. He's been in a lot of films as well. I was at Warner like 10 times for meetings on that one. And ended up not getting it, so that's always on my mind.
Oh yeah, I would say so because I mean that was a pretty awesome movie, and I could see you doing the blonde villain type too on that one. So I think you would have nailed it. But
yeah, another thing is I moved here right after the casting was done on Die Hard, so that would have been cool. But I missed it with like 6 months.
So that would have that definitely would have that'd have been awesome. That would definitely put you right up there with the villain, in the villain roles and stuff. Because like I said, those are awesome movies. But do you have as far as like films that are like not horror related? Do you have any favorites out there, like westerns or comedies or anything, or
that I have done, or just in general?
I mean, the stuff that you enjoy watching that that maybe you would eventually like to maybe do a part in if they were did like a sequel or.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly with Clint Eastwood. You can't go wrong with that one.
Oh yeah,
that's a classic. I like that movie a lot. I like Hitchcock. I mean, it's horror, but I mean Hitchcock. He was a genius as far as I believe. I like everything he ever did. And then you have movies like E.T. How can you not be touched by a movie like that? That was an amazing film as well.
Yeah, I have to say, I think I was pretty young when that movie came out, but then I actually got to see it some years later and everything, and it was it was great. It's definitely one of those staples, I think, of the classic movies there. But I mean, as far as I say, you've got a lot of movies on here and stuff that I've seen a majority of them, but there's some, like I said, that the Sky Sharks, that whole Nazi zombie flying shark thing is right up my alley. So I'm a big Asylum fan too, so I like watching a lot of their Sharknado movies and their the Z Nation shows and everything. So that sounds like something I will definitely check out now. So I'm glad Wes actually brought that up there because I saw it on here and was wondering about it. But so you play your character is Godfrey Graves, is that right?
Yeah, I play a British MI5 agent.
So you're actually playing a good guy in this one here.
I'm playing a good guy. It's against the Nazis. It's the same. It's 1940, 1939 to 45, really, all over again, in present time.
So now, is that getting a theatrical release? You said.
As far as I know, yeah, no, it's definitely deserves it. It's that kind of movie that you don't really want to see it in anywhere else, in my opinion. Because when the effects they're doing and how they shot the film, and that's a big screen movie. That's a theater movie.
Oh, definitely. So, yeah, because I mean, with especially with Nazi zombies and sharks and everything, yeah, you can't contain that into Netflix or Amazon Prime. So
no, not at all.
So, but yeah, as far as I mean, like I said, I think you're a very well-versed actor in that. I mean, love the fact that you're not, they don't pigeonhole you in any particular, I mean, you primarily play a villain and you play it well, but I'm glad to see that they're actually, you're not playing the villain solely, that you're actually playing the good guy here in some of these films. But are you looking at, as far as like from a TV show standpoint, are you still working on like more TV shows and things, or?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm developing my own TV show at the same time. I'm talking to a producer right now about another pilot that I would like to, I'm interested in very much so. So we'll see where that goes. And I mean, TV nowadays is like, in the old days you couldn't do both, but right now everybody's doing TV, everybody's doing film, and a lot of the TV shows are shot like a feature. So yeah, I mean, either media to me is very appealing.
So but you probably can't talk much about that if it's not, if it's not, I guess, out there yet. So, but
no, unfortunately, I can't talk too much. But in a month or two, maybe.
Okay, yeah, because there's the anticipation's killing me. So I like that. But so Wes, have you got some questions about some of the films he's been in? Because like I said, he's got a amazing resume here.
Yeah, of course, but we're going to do our last commercial break. Everybody, you're watching Scarefest Radio.
Coyote Chris Sutton.
Shamanism.
Spiritual advisement.
Paranormal investigations.
Inspirational presentations.
Bringing light to the darkest places for over 20 years. Go to coyotechris.com to learn more. Everybody, welcome back to Scarefest Radio. We're in our final segment now. Yan, it's funny you bring up Die Hard. I was sitting here thinking, first of all, in the chat room, they're calling you Swedish Jesus, just so you know tonight. But I was thinking, the third Gruber brother. You should pitch a third. They should take that storyline one step farther. Since you missed the auditions for the second one, I think they could fit in another Gruber brother, and you would be perfect.
I agree. Just spread it out there.
now, I have to ask you to do something for me.
Okay.
I want to hear your British accent. When you told me, I assumed in Sky Sharks you were going to be a Nazi. I'm sorry, I did. That's what I assumed. But no, you let it slip that you're a British secret agent. So I have to hear your British accents.
It's not very good, to be honest. I had to do line by line, but I learned the Queen's English in school, and we go past the neighborhood and we go shopping with other people, and I go into the pub and I have a little pint and I move on.
Now I watched Terror Tales, and I finally got around to watching Death House this week. Now that was something that you brought up. I watched Death House, saying, okay, Jan has a character that has a name. he will be in this movie. And I watched it and I'm like, where the fuck was Yan? And now you've explained it. The character is an ongoing character. So I really appreciate that.
It was only a few frames in that one. And you have to know, where it's at. I mean, unfortunately, we shot a lot more, but they decided to disguise most of the doctors because of the element of developing the story into the prequel. So that was a director's choice that not necessarily might agree 100% with, but I'm hoping the prequel will be amazing for the doctors.
Now another thing I'm going to take you back to on Terror Tales. Of course, we've talked a lot about you playing Satan, and like I said, you absolutely rocked the part. That was my favorite part of the movie, with the possible exception of Ari Lehman, because he was just so over the top in his part in it that he was fun to watch. But that being said, I'm trying how to frame this without doing a spoiler. I don't like to do spoilers. How was it? This is one of those acting things. Okay, now understand, everybody asks, oh, were you scared? And I know, no, it's a movie. I get that part. But you had to crawl out of someone for that. And that looked like a pretty practical effect. Is it half as gross as it looks on the scene, or is it just, oh, no, it's just...
It was the least favorable scene of all scenes we shot in that movie for me. I mean, it was fun, but it was sticky and cold and yeah, it was exactly what you thought it would be, because it's very practical. Jimmy Lee Combs made sure that movie not only looked like a 70s, 80s horror movie, also being shot like a 70s, 80s horror film. He was very adamant about using, certain lights and special effect was all practical. Yeah, it was a bitch.
I was sitting there watching it, and I guess that was your first appearance. I guess even I don't think they even teased Satan until that moment, and then here he comes crawling out of someone's stomach, and that I'm just going to put it there, people, and you have to watch the movie. Now on these lines, now both of those are streaming now. This is something I've got to start asking my guests before they come on. Of the stuff that that is out there in the public view, if you had to tell someone, go watch this movie, I absolutely rocked it. What movies would you brag about right now? That
I would push some recent films. I mean, first of all, Betrayed came out in October. You can see that everywhere and buy it anywhere. It's with Sony. It's all director Hollywood Lane and myself and Billy Worth and Richard Tyson and John Savage. It's a good movie about sex slavery. And then we have Terror Tales, as you said, which just came out on DVD the 5th of February, I think, and VOD was 8th of January. Is doing really well right now. Those are the two most recent movies that came out that I would like to push for. And then if you want to see something completely different that I've done, like off the wall different, then you should watch Cyber Bandits, where I play Princess Paula as a transvestite.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Cyber Bandits. Okay, I will. That goes on my streaming list.
Well, you said different, so.
I have, okay, I ran into this with I had Tiffany Shepis on, and I love Tiffany Shepis, but I tried to watch what was streaming of hers, and none of her good stuff was streaming. All of her, and she'll admit it, all of her trash is what you find on streaming right at that time. But so when I was watching yours, and like I said, I watched good movies. Honestly, Terror Tales, the only thing, and it wasn't your segment, one of the antique cars, not antique, but the old cars to keep it in the 70s, 80s time frame that it was, had rims. It had modern rims on it, and it just blew the entire segment for me when I saw it. I said,
yeah, I didn't, yeah, that wasn't my, yeah.
That wasn't your segment. That wasn't your segment. Last thing I want to close the show out. I'm taking it that you're still doing a bunch of conventions in the midst of all this.
Actually, no, not. Oh. I took 2018 off. I did the last one, 2017, in October or November, the Liverpool HorrorCon. And then after that, in 2018, I only did special appearances for People on Stairs screenings and a couple of comic book stores in LA on purpose, just to, because I was out a lot for a few years in a row, and then I also got really busy shooting these films. But, 2019, I'm going back out. I love to go back out, and, I love to come back to Scarefest. I'm ready.
Like I said, I know you're on the list, dude. But it's still early, so know everybody that is not a spoiler. And actually, I'm not even going to suggest you, because I am the black hole of death for Scarefest guest. If I recommend you, then you're screwed, dude. That's my history with the convention. So everybody, it's been a great show. It's been great catching up with you, Yan. What is your next thing, as far as you know, that should hit theaters or video on demand that's in post-production? Anything you know of?
And anything I know that's for sure is going to hit is Agamon's Gate in theaters in September.
Okay, everybody. There you go. Keep your eye open for that. It sounds and looks like an interesting movie. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Stay tuned. We've got Scarefest Radio's Body and Spirit coming up next. This has been Scarefest Radio.